I lead the go-to-market operation for Birlasoft's Banking, Financial Services and Insurance Business Unit, or in short, the BFSI vertical. So, Birlasoft has four key go-to-market verticals where we are focused on creating value and growing our business. BFSI is one of them. Today, BFSI contributes to a little shy of 20% of Birlasoft's overall revenue. It's certainly a vertical that we want to continue to invest in, to grow our business and to create differentiation for the clients that we serve. To the question about what are the kinds of services that we offer to our clients in this segment, BFSI is a very, very large and wide industry segment, as you know. A way to look at it is within banking, financial services, and insurance. Given our scale and given where the industry is headed, we are focused on certain micro segments within that to be able to create more differentiated value for our customers. So within banking, our focus in deep expertise is around lending, and within lending areas such as commercial lending. The other area that we have focus on is payments, and within payments, specifically in consumer payments and digital payments. Similarly, on the capital market side, a lot of our focus is on post-trade, infrastructure providers, market infrastructure providers, and being a key technology partner there. And if I look at the insurance segment, insurance segment, as you know, is fairly, large itself. We really focus our offerings to customers on property and casualty as a subsegment within insurance, and also specialty insurance and reinsurance. So really, our first approach to create service offerings and to deliver value is to understand the customer's business and the subsegments that we serve. Within that, Birlasoft today in BFSI is largely a digital and a domain partner. So if I really look at the business that we have, 60+% of the services that we provide to our customers in the BFSI segment would be classified as digital services. So essentially, offerings that are related to, applications which are business-centric, and being able to help customers, develop the next generation of those applications, supporting those applications. A lot of the work that we are doing is around automation, RPA. A lot of work that we are doing is around modernization. So our major markets, right, where our customers are and where our focus, clearly here in the United States, where I am based, this is the major market where our customers are. Within Europe, we absolutely are present. Our major focus is in the large economies and also English-speaking economies in Europe. So that essentially is UK, France, Germany, and Switzerland. And we are also very uniquely, Birlasoft is also for BFSI focused in the India market. And in the India market, and I would broadly say the India and the Singapore, region, our focus is twofold. One, we work with a number of our banking and insurance and financial services clients who have captives in India, and we give them, we work with their captives specifically with a sell-to focus in India. In addition to that, in the areas where we have good domain depth, we are also looking to expanding, our market presence in India from a sell-to perspective. So those really are the major markets that our business is spread in, and we'll continue to focus for growth. At a very fundamental level, right? Customers, whether it's a bank, an insurer, or a capital markets, company, they are looking for IT service providers to provide solutions, and that's really the orientation with which we approach, our customers. The ability to provide solutions needs us to have competence on different service offerings, and in many cases, bring multiple of those service offerings together. So, one of the leading, trends that we are seeing is being able to focus on end-to-end automation and being able to look at solutions where customers can fundamentally improve a particular business sub-process by leveraging from a process perspective, RPA, from an automation perspective, technologies which leverage artificial intelligence and machine learning and natural language processing. And then eventually, right, from an output perspective, right, better insights leveraging data and analytics. We have really leveraged RPA, our knowledge of this particular domain. We've also partnered, with various market-leading AI and NLP technologies to put together this end-to-end solution, which has seen some good adoption in the market. We've got 2 customers that are live on it and are really seeing 50 to 60% improvement in terms of the throughput and the overall productivity of the users, right, which are essentially the underwriters of this solution. Similarly, on payment side and on digital lending side, a lot of the work that we are doing with some of the largest consumer finance and credit card providers here in the United States is to be able to digitize the the retail or the digital retail experience, partnering with different providers, whether it is in the area of retail or healthcare, to launch these products. And a lot of the expertise that Birlasoft has, both in understanding the domain and also being able to bring forth some of these new technologies, which also focus on improving this entire experience, customer experience, right, in this digital journey. Finally, as it relates to a very important area, which is always important in this segment and in capital markets, risk. There is a lot of focus on how at an enterprise level, right, whether at an infrastructure level, at an application level, at a business process level, BFSI customers can continue to mitigate risk that is inherent in some of these processes. So we've done some really good work in the capital market side, and most of that in the post-trade side. Once a trade, is through and really needs to be processed, reconciled, and completed, a huge amount of work that we're doing, again, leveraging a number of digital technologies is in this area. Like all segments, the first part of when the pandemic hit the world, right, was really around trying to understand the impact of it. So banks, insurers, all initial period was all trying to really grapple with, what does this really mean? How long is this going to last? So there was a period of really trying to analyze the immediate, near-term, and potentially long-term impacts. What we have seen as that understanding evolved is, it absolutely led to a recognition that digital transformation has to be accelerated, and different institutions, based on their tiers and the role that they play in the market, prioritize different things. Large financial institutions and large banks really, realized that they needed to adopt cloud in a big way, and public cloud in a big way, right? Because there was, financial services is a highly regulated industry. While the conversation on cloud has been around for several years, it certainly saw the acceleration towards modernization of legacy systems, accelerating adoption towards public cloud, and really trying to, set aside dollars to be able to invest in that. There were many institutions that had it in their strategy already stated, but was not being implemented technologically, right, or at a slow pace. We saw that those conversations became front and central. What we saw with our customers was that fundamentally they reevaluated how they needed to modernize. So while the core platforms remained, and they continued to look at what the right choice there was around the core platforms, they really wanted partners like us and other technology partners to do modernization, rapid digital modernization around the core platform. The other thing that was brought up was how do you enable your employees, in this hyper virtual world, right? So employee productivity, employee experience, enabling stakeholder, experience in a virtual world, whether it's a, bank with a branch network and maybe an underinvested, online or mobile network, all of those things, clearly, in the stack of priorities, we saw them being reshuffled. So certainly, it did have an impact and brought a lot of things like cloud-based modernization, legacy modernization, digital adoption to the forefront. I think our first focus was working with our customers, to be able to move our associates from in-office locations. As you know, right, in our segment, we have to comply with the standards, right, the security, cyber security risk standards of our customers. So our first effort was to very, very quickly, right, liaise with our customers and, be able to make our associates productive remotely while being able to, comply to those standards. In many cases, some of the banks in the initial phases took exceptions to approve, certain standards just because there was no choice, to be able to make sure that there's no impact on work. Most institutions are beginning to realize that some form of remote working will continue for time to come. In fact, we have customers who are actually have taken fundamental shifts to their, what they call as their workforce strategy. Some of our customers have actually declared that they will continue to be in this, campus, and the rest of it being, hybrid node models, right? Where essentially will be a large virtual workforce of providers and their own employees. So it's a very interesting time for sure. And I think, we'll continue to watch the evolution of this. Traditionally, the BFSI sector has always laid a very heavy, emphasis on security, cyber security as a subset of that, and risk. In this case, with the pandemic, we really saw a trigger, right, to be able to balance the delivery of the products and services to customers with, the standards of security and risk. I would say that, we worked with many customers involving our, CISO organization, Chief Information, Security Officer, and the entire team there to really, get into the details with them, right, of what kind of short-term exceptions could be taken and how over a longer-term basis by implementing, new solutions, whether it's on data loss prevention, whether it is on, being able to remotely monitor and manage, some of these compliance standards, how we and our customers would put that in place. Trend of adopting and moving towards public cloud has been in the industry, and every single core platform, whether a bank may use, if it's a core platform such as, core banking system or an insurance or policy administration system, or the shared enterprise applications, whether it is, an Oracle or SAP, have all been, working towards a cloud-first model for several years. During the course of the last calendar year, Birlasoft also signed and elevated our partnership with Microsoft. And the focus of that partnership essentially was to become a ITES 360 partner, which is focused on cloud technologies and cloud adoption. And I think we were really able to step in and help our customers both understand the choices they have, but more so build a plan, right, for execution of those. Because of the nature of unexpected nature of this pandemic, and the primary focus being to ensure that there is no service disruption, right, in terms of either the support that our associates are providing or the schedule of delivery of a particular product or platform, the real focus was on ensuring continuity and least amount of service disruption. We were able to really work with the CISO organizations, and typically, the CISO organization of service providers like ourselves is in the background, right, working with delivery. In this case, there was more direct collaboration. So we were able to see a lot of collaboration, with our customers' organizations. In terms of SLAs and how we worked around that, look, I think as far as, we did not have in our segment a single miss on SLAs or a single penalty that our customer, had to put on us as a result of this sort of a pandemic event. And I think it only is a testimony of the collaborative nature and the fast response that we were able to provide, to our customers. I think we did three things. One is, communication and ongoing, sharing of information in a very structured way is a very, very important element of being able to manage, this transition, so to speak, right, to a office-centric model, to a remote-centric model with various stakeholders involved. We also did set up in the initial phase, right, our entire delivery organization, an overall, ongoing, communication center where there was, periodic exchange, with key clients. We also ensured that we were personally reaching out, and I included with all our top clients with their, senior stakeholders, whether it's the chief information officer, the chief, partner, or vendor management organization. We were communicating a lot, and I think that helped significantly. We had to keep our eye even more on our existing clients, making sure that, we were reachable, we were on top of our game as it relates to our deliverables, and our teams were even more in touch. The approach that we followed was this. Number one, we were, as I had shared with you, we are looking at building expertise and deeper domain and business solution focus in a certain set of micro verticals. The second approach that we took was, it is that, a lot of the customers and, Frank, spent a lot more time just by virtue of working remote, not traveling, on the digital channels, right? Whether it is on LinkedIn, whether it is, really looking for information, relevant to the problems that they were trying to solve. Third is we created, value-based content assets. So for example, we ran, a webinar partnering with, the analysts, and in this case with ISG, who we work with on several projects, to really talk about the problem of lack of automation in an underwriter's life. So it was a combination of a highly targeted approach towards value creation in micro verticals, where we believe that we will continue to build strengths. It was focusing on content-based, marketing on digital channels. And third was partnering with the analysts, in many cases, our technology partners, such as Microsoft, SAP, others, in really having conversations which address a broad industry problem. Yes, I mean, there are several, right? Another one that comes to mind was we really actually put together a whole point of view on the digital, the cloud operating model and employee experience in this new cloud operating model. And we did that, we actually created a landing page and specific content assets around it. And this was on the back of a conversation that we know was very relevant to one of, the insurance or reinsurance client, but it's an industry-wide issue that, as your operating model is moving more and more towards cloud, how do you, for your own employees, right? How do you deliver better employee experience? So that was another example. So again, we worked, on amplifying that message because we thought it was very relevant, and more in, enterprises and certainly insurers or banks will have to be far more agile in terms of being able to, reconcile and close books, and, and so we really, that was another example of a messaging and a content and a campaign that we thought was very relevant that we worked on. We are, one of the prides that we take in our business is that we are a concentrated business, and a lot of, other businesses or other providers may have a problem of, as it's called the long tail. In BFSI and Birlasoft, we are concentrated with a set of large customers, which I think is an asset because we can bring more value to them. We can build more domain solutions. I'm not sure if we publicly declare our BFSI top 5 client concentration, but at a Birlasoft level, I think the data is available of our top 5 or top 10 customers. and can certainly be shared. But I would just leave it at that. Yes, we do not have a problem of long tail. We have a set of customers that I think is very vibrant and has high growth potential that we'll continue to focus on. And we will continue to harvest new customers in these specific offering areas where we believe that we bring an amount of differentiation based on our understanding of the domain or the subdomain and digital technologies. Absolutely. In fact, that has been one of the strategies that has been put in place, and we are highly focused on that. Our approach to creating value and growth is a very planned account, centric approach, cross-selling, upselling, co-selling, and co-creating, right? In cases where we understand with clients are the ways in which we are trying to create more value for our customers, and in that process grow the business with existing clients. So you will absolutely see that. In fact, we are also starting to, in some of our strategic customers, proactively have conversations on co-innovation, right? We have, the Birlasoft has digital innovation framework. We have, within our digital team, a whole approach, on ideating, identifying POCs, rapid prototyping. We also have what we call as Accelerate, which is a framework in which we partnered with, startups. So cross-selling, upselling, co-selling with our partners, and co-innovating or co-creating with our strategic clients are the ways in which we are looking to create more value and growth. Today, within our digital offerings or digital service line, we absolutely have a templatized approach of how Birlasoft could come in and run these, ideation, starting with the basics of running ideation workshops to really, identifying, as I said, proof points or ideas that customers and us think, we need to go further on, creating rapid prototypes. We absolutely have a framework. We regularly also run hackathons, with some of our key clients and some of our key partners like Microsoft, SAP, and others. And on an ongoing delivery basis, we have, a framework that is called Vinci, which is a Birlasoft proprietary framework where we encourage our own, associates involved in project delivery to come up with newer and newer ideas to help potentially a customer's business. So this, whether it's at a high level partnering with the customer to, co-innovate or co-create, or an ongoing delivery of our programs, both of these, sides of our organization, we have frameworks that are actually being implemented. Look, I think in every organization, whether it's a bank or an insurer, what we have seen is the investment on data and analytics, right? In many cases, if there was a chief data officer role, which was a subset, of within overall CI organizations, we have really seen that role now become a direct report into, the business organizations. The importance of data and insights in looking at the business performance and NPAs, no specific, commentary that I could share there, but what I'll tell you is some of the largest programs that we are talking to our customers on involve data estate modernization. So for a bank or an insurer or, a capital markets firm, for them to be able to provide value to their end customers, they have realized that unless they modernize the core data estate that they have and are able to build technologies that can, generate insights, leveraging, digital technologies, they will not be able to mine, that. So we are seeing large spending in data modernizations. The proactive insights, alerting and monitoring that is very much needed, right, to build an intelligently resilient organization. And we have done some good work in thinking, through this, because we see many of our customers in this space thinking about different components of it, and some of them are thinking about, really building that intelligently resilient organization end to end. Cybersecurity is a huge area. It's getting increasingly more complex, and it is also getting increasingly more layered just because of the different levels of cyber regulation and compliance in different regions that the BFSI firms have to meet, and it is still a very manual process in terms of how it is managed today. While there are various point technologies available, the overall cybersecurity compliance and operations still highly manual. So we think this will be an area that will see the evolution of many offerings, services, and even products that will leverage absolutely artificial intelligence, machine learning, and NLP to simplify, automate, and accelerate how cybersecurity threats are monitored and managed. In fact, we are in the process of co-developing a particular platform and product that specifically addresses this space, and specifically for the BFSI segment. We are not at the stage where we can announce this, but we are investing together with a company that is an early stage startup in this space. And we believe that, with our expertise in digital technologies and their expertise in understanding the cybersecurity regulation space, specifically as it relates to BFSI, it'll be a great value that we can potentially create for the marketplace. So I would say in the next 4 to 8 weeks, potentially more to come on that. I was certainly still in the United States at the time of the 2008 crisis. I'm still here now. I would say that, in short, I would say that technology and digital technology is far more in the forefront today of solving the challenge that the pandemic has thrown at us. I think what did not really exist in the forefront in 2008 was, really the shift that has happened because of the pandemic in a virtual heavy and a virtual centric world, and the way that we work, right? It was an economic crisis, and underlying the economic crisis were obviously a lot of elements of regulation, compliance, or lack of it. But in this case, this particular crisis, the core of it is fundamentally shifted the way that the world works and will continue to work. It has brought to the forefront that technology will be the core element that will drive productivity, connection, compliance, and and it'll continue to be, right, that fuel that will really will be needed for BFSI and for other segments to come out of this challenge that we are in. So I think that's a little bit of a contrast. Banks, financial institutions, insurers have always been at the forefront of adopting technology and engaging in building, right, better solutions and services for the end customers, which are all both institutions and individuals that they serve. My message would be that this is truly a moment, right, of embracing the power of technology to create much more, meaningful solution sets and to connect with customers in a deeper way. And providers like Birlasoft, who have deep expertise in certain domains, can certainly be, accelerators of that adoption. In many cases, also help, right, thinking through where that opportunity may lie. So I think it's a great time to look and invest in the future.
For more updates from CXO TV, please like and subscribe to our channel.